What is going on, YouTube? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Derek. I am the owner of Scumbag Society, and in this video we're going to go a little bit over my brand, how I got started, all that kind of stuff. I'm also going to be giving you guys some tips on how to market your brand. I know a lot of you guys are just getting started this year or maybe last year on getting your brand started, so I'm going to give you some tips on how to market that, what I do to come up with my designs, things like that that are just overall going to help you get started. So let's start off with the first question. So I started my brand all the way back in 2017 is when I first made like a t-shirt, and I had like a print on demand company. I just gave them a design and they ended up making my shirt. Back then though, I really didn't take it too seriously. It was kind of just, I was messing around. I was in college and I wanted to make a shirt with my design on it. Thought it would be a cool idea. I really wasn't getting any sales back then or anything. I kind of just was selling it to like my college friends, stuff like that. It was not a big deal at all. I really don't feel like I actually got started with my brand and like pushing it and taking it a little more serious until the whole pandemic started. So around 2020, I would say. I've been going about 2 years now pretty seriously on actually like grinding on my brand, not messing around, doing all the shit that it takes to really be successful with it. Compared to the beginning, it was kind of just more a fun thing. So yeah, I would say I got really started in 2020, but I've had, my idea that I wanted to have a clothing brand since 2017. And I think that's when I actually dropped my first shirt. But like I said, it was just a print on demand. I sent a design, super easy, got one sent to me, and I didn't even like get a whole bulk of them. I just literally got like one shirt to take pictures in, and then as my friends would ask for them and stuff, I would order more of the same shirt and sell it to them, just kind of one at a time. And that's really how I got my start going, but that's not when I started taking things serious. So definitely 2020, start of the pandemic, that's when I started making my own stuff instead of getting it print on demand. I started actually getting some sales from out of state that weren't people I knew, just like random people buying and supporting. That's when I feel like I really got started. How did I come up with the name? So the name of my brand is Scumbag Society. The way I came up with it is actually a funny story, and it has a good meaning behind it. A lot of people just hear Scumbag Society and they're like, oh, you're just doing that because it sounds cool or whatever. You just, you want to, a lot of people are scumbags, you're trying to like make that a group. No, that's not it. I actually have a meaning behind my brand, and that was that a lot of people with like creative personalities and stuff like to look different. So for example, back when I was in high school, back in the day, I had already had some tattoos. I had long hair. I looked kind of generally messy, but I viewed myself as like a creative person who liked to express my creativity in the way I looked, the way I dressed, kind of having that messier look to me. And I actually had a teacher back then at one point tell me that like, you'll never be successful looking like a scumbag. And that ever since high school is just stuck in my name, and it resonated with me to where I wanted to start a brand and turn it into kind of a positive thing of like, yeah, people are looked down upon for how they look. They might be, they might have long hair, they might have tattoos, they might dress differently than other people, they might be into other things than what's considered normal in society. So I wanted Scumbag Society to be sort of a community and a brand, with myself as an example, that you can be successful by looking different, acting different. Maybe you feel like you don't fit in with the normal people of society. Maybe you feel like you're a little bit different than your friends. You dress differently. I don't think you should be looked down upon just based on how you look. So I started Scumbag Society as in like, you can be a scumbag and still be successful. You can be quote unquote look like a scumbag, but you can still do well in life. And I wanted myself to be a number one example of that, to people to look up to me and be like, yo, he was called a scumbag when he was younger. He, didn't look the same as everybody else in high school, but he still ended up doing something successful. So that was my vision behind the name and why I chose that name. And then of course, it goes into the more business side of it. I had to do research on if anything was trademarked under Scumbag Society yet or not, or unfortunately there wasn't, so I was able to trademark it. if there was any other brands or anything that I felt like were using that name, which I didn't find anything back in 2016, 17 when I was researching it, and I kind of just went with it from there. The meaning behind the brand, that kind of goes along with what I just said with the name. It's, the meaning behind the brand is that I want it to feel like a community of people who feel like they might be looked down upon for their creative ways. Maybe they're looked down upon for how they express their creativity and their fashion, and their style, things like that. I want it to be a community of people that feel like maybe they don't fit in the world, but they fit in with this brand, and this brand gives them sort of a feeling of like connection, that there's more people like that out in the world. It's not just you feeling alone, no matter what you're going through. I know a lot of people, especially when I was younger, I felt like I didn't always fit into what everyone else was doing, and I kind of felt like I was doing my own thing. It's nice to know that there's other people in the world that are going through that are expressing their creativity in unique ways, and it's really dope to just feel like you have a community that goes along with that. So that's the meaning behind my brand. I go more into meaning with my drops too and stuff. It's like this hoodie I'm wearing right now is from my new drop, and it says create art from your pain, which is like a really heavy, deep message and meaning that inspires me every day. That's why I wanted to put it on my new drop. Kind of meaning, you have pain, you have things going on, but you can use that to fuel your creativity and create something beautiful out of it, rather than being down on yourself about it. So, each drop, sometimes they have their own meanings behind themselves. Sometimes they're just designs I like. This new drop I did definitely has a really deep meaning and message to it behind it that means a lot to me, and that's kind of what keeps me going too, because I feel like I've been through a lot of things, and that meaning stuck with me a lot. So that's why I ended up going with this for my new drop. How do I come up with new designs? Well, it's kind of different, based on the day. Sometimes I'll be about to fall asleep at night and a design will just pop in my head, and I'm like, yes, like I want to make that, I want to do that, that's a great idea. Sometimes I get inspired by things. I remember in one of my first drops, it's like I saw the little bags they give you at grocery stores that say like thank you for shopping with us, and I got inspiration from a design from that. So sometimes it does come from just like things around the world that I'll see, and will kind of just like jumpstart me into getting inspiration from that, and I want to run from that. Sometimes it's really random, and I'm just at home laying in bed about to fall asleep, and I get an idea in my head. I'm like, I want to do that. For this new drop, like the pain and creativity, I had already done this, or creating art from your pain. I'd done something similar on one of my first hoodies ever, and I kind of revamped that and made it, because it's a really important message, and I wanted to build on it. And I know not a lot of people saw that first hoodie I did, because it was way back in like 2017 when I didn't have any followers or anything like that. I wasn't getting any sales, so I wanted to revamp it into something today that would do well. And yeah, that's kind of, the design process just comes to me. If you feel like you're not as creative of a person, doesn't mean you can't have a clothing brand. You can always hit up designers, do commission work, hire freelancers, stuff like that, and give them a general idea, and they'll make something dope for you. And you can put that on, your shirts or hoodies or whatever you want to do. You don't have to be your own designer. I prefer to be mine. I do all my own work through Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator. I personally like doing all my own designs, but you don't have to. You could more focus on the business side of things if you wanted to do that. I know plenty of people do that. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not looking down on any of you guys. I think that, if you're more focused on the business aspect of it, go for it. I don't want the fact you don't feel like you're a creative person to stop you. So yeah, definitely, as far as designs, either just work and master them yourself through all those apps I said, like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. There's other things too. You can use Canva, stuff like that for free options. But, don't limit yourself. Play with things, see how you like it. If you like it, go with it. If you don't, then you can hire designers and stuff to get your message across. Best way to market clothes for me would have to been through social media. So Instagram, TikTok, now I'm starting to do YouTube too. I have found that all these social media platforms have completely taken over in this day and age, and that's the best way to market your stuff. A lot of people use Facebook ads. I personally actually couldn't use Facebook ads because of the name Scumbag Society. Facebook wouldn't let me do that because they thought it was like derogatory or something. So I haven't run any Facebook ads, I don't think. Instagram, even though they're kind of connected, Instagram lets me run ads. So I do Instagram ads sometimes. But I gotta say, my biggest thing, if you want to grow your brand, the biggest way I was able to do that right now is through TikTok. I have about 120,000 followers on there, and that alone is pretty much what boosted my company into being more serious from, like I said, just my friends buying it and stuff until I started posting videos on TikTok. It kind of blew up to a whole new group of individuals who supported me now and were buying from my drops and stuff like that. And I tell this all the time to my friends and stuff. It just takes like one video or one little, 15-second TikTok to do really well to get you a whole new crowd of people that are seeing your brand and interested in buying it. So that is like a really big piece of advice if you're just starting a brand. Definitely look into TikTok. I know YouTube has YouTube Shorts now. Instagram has Instagram Reels. The cool thing is you can make one 15-second video and post it on all those things. And you're going to get, even if you're only getting 5,000 views on each, over 3 platforms, that's 15,000 people that have never seen your brand that are now seeing your brand. So for me, that was the biggest way I was able to grow, was through TikTok. Like I said, I got 120,000 followers on there, immediately impacted my sales way more than they ever had been before. And it just grew from there. And you're able to funnel your followers from those. So, the smart thing to do is spread it throughout all 3 social media platforms. You don't want all your followers just on one platform, because what if that platform is gone tomorrow? You never know what's going to happen. What if TikTok got deleted tomorrow and all my followers were on there, all my customers were on there? You would lose them all. So you want to funnel those. Like I tell everyone from TikTok to follow my Instagram, and I got like almost 10,000. I was at 10,000 for a little bit, but I lost some followers just from not posting super consistently, which was my fault, but still at like 9,500 or something on Instagram. So I was able to funnel, maybe a little less than 10% of those followers from TikTok to Instagram that I have on another platform now. I can still market to, almost 10,000 people on Instagram, even if I lost TikTok tomorrow. The other thing I want to go with, going based off that, is even more safe and secure than that is get emails and get phone numbers. So I have that on my website. People can subscribe, stuff like that, So you want to get those people's emails. You want to get their phone numbers. That way, say you lose all social media, you still have a customer base of emails and phone numbers you can reach out to and promote your new drops and things like that. That was huge for me. That was a game changer for me too. That was always a big anxiety for me. It was like, what if my Instagram got deleted? What if something like that happened? Because when I first started Instagram, it's not an effective method, but what I did when I first started was I was just following a ton of people and messaging them to show them my brand. Not necessarily all of them were following back, but I did gain, a couple hundred followers from doing that. But throughout the process of following so many people, my Instagram got banned for a couple weeks, and that was the first time I was like, oh, what would happen if I lost my Instagram completely? What would happen if I lost my TikTok completely? And that's when I started grinding to really get those, those phone numbers and emails in my database. That way I can always reach out to my customers. I can always promote to them, even if I lost all social media tomorrow. That's a really big tip for all you guys starting out, is don't be so worried about just your follower count, but try to get real customers that will buy from you, and get their phone number, get their email, reach out to them with emails, send marketing, send promotions, do things like that is a big step in growing your brand 100%. Advice for people starting their own brand. Like I said, I think a big one is, kind of goes into that last question. What I was saying is, make sure you're spread throughout different social medias. The more opportunity you have to get out there and show your brand to other people, the better off you are, So post your stuff. Don't be scared. Post it on TikTok, post it on Instagram, post it on YouTube, which I'm just starting to do too. I'm not big on YouTube at all. Spread yourself out as much as you can. If you have the opportunity to run Facebook ads, do that, run on Twitter, have as many accounts as you can to show as many people as you can, and that'll grow your customer base. And then once you've done that and you're starting to get some orders and stuff, make sure you're getting subscribers to your website, you're getting their email, you're getting their phone number. It is huge, and it is a key part of building your business, especially for the clothing industry and stuff, because chances are if they give you their email and their phone number on their website, they're interested in buying something from you at some point. So that's a really good contact to have in your database, so you can always reach out to them. The other piece of advice I'd have is stay consistent. You know, it's kind of become a trend lately just to start a clothing brand. I see so many people doing it on TikTok, so many people doing it on Instagram. You got to be original, try to stand out a little bit from all the trends going on, what everyone else is doing. Try to be a little original with your designs. Stay consistent. You know, I've seen at least 1,000 brands that, you know, they'll message me on Instagram, how do I get started? What am I doing? What's the best advice for beginners? And then I'll check their page in like 2 months and they're not even making clothes anymore, you know, because they tried it for a month, they didn't get as many sales as they'd hoped, and then they gave up on it. If you really want to do it, stay consistent, stay grinding. You know, you're not going to get a million sales on every drop, but it doesn't mean you should just give up. If it's something you're passionate about, that's the other thing, is don't just start a clothing brand right now because it's the trendy thing to do. It's not a get rich quick scheme or something like that. I only recommend getting into it if you're passionate about fashion, if you're passionate about what you do, the message behind your brand. Maybe if you're passionate like I am about the message of my brand, it's something I want to spread across the world. I want to grow it, you know, huge, and have a lot of people feel like they have this community. Don't just start a clothing brand because it's a trend right now, and don't start it because you're like, oh, I could make a quick buck off doing it right now. You know, I would say stay away from it at that point. You have to have the drive, you have to have the passion for it, and make sure it's something you want to do. And if you do, then put all your effort into it. Grind, you know, post 3 or 4 TikToks a day, post an Instagram picture every day, you know, do the work, come up with, you know, 5 new designs every day, and, you know, show your friends, say, hey, which one of these designs do you like? Which one should I run? You know, put the work in and put the effort in. If you're consistent with it and you just keep doing it, eventually you will get some customers. Your brand will start to grow. Might not happen immediately. Didn't happen immediately for me, especially even in 2020 when I really started putting the work in. It took a long time before I actually started getting a lot of sales and before I actually was able to make this my full-time job and stuff. Now I don't, you know, I do some freelance graphic design work and I do some work like that on the sides. I do printing for other people's companies and stuff because I have all the screen printing equipment. But for the main part, that's my main grind, is just doing this clothing brand. And if you're going to be serious about it, I think you should be serious about it and treat it as if that's going to be your career in life, and make sure you're passionate about it before you do that. So stay consistent, get those phone numbers, get those emails, be original, and just put all your effort into it, because it'll pay off if you just keep grinding it, I promise. What's next for my brand, I would have to say, is just expansion. Right now, it's just me. I'm a one-man team. I have the whole screen printing press. You know, I have all the equipment, but I'm still doing it out of a house. I don't have a warehouse or anything yet. I don't have a storefront. That's my next like bucket list goal for my brand, is I want to grow. I want to get either a warehouse or a storefront, somewhere I can kind of have as my office, my home base, where I go design, I get the orders out, I do printing, all that kind of stuff. That's definitely my front end thing. I've always kind of thought it'd be cool to have a storefront that has the screen printing and stuff, and I have my brand, maybe some other small businesses that I like their brand showing and stuff too. You know, it'd be really cool to open a storefront or at least a warehouse where I can consider like my workspace, where, you know, I'm able to feel creative and I'm able to get work done. So expansion is the one of them, you know, always looking to grow. And it'd be nice, you know, in the future too, to spread out responsibilities, because being a one-man team, it does take a lot. I'm doing all my own screen printing, I'm doing all my own packaging, I'm doing all my own shipping, I'm doing all my own designing, doing, you know, half the time I'm doing my own photography for it. You know, I'm coordinating if I'm having someone wear my clothes and I'm taking pictures of them. I'm doing everything, it just as a one-man job, so it'd definitely be nice to spread the responsibility out and grow and be able to have some employees and stuff, which is, I'm confident, is coming in the near future. Just as of now, it's been more profitable for me to just do everything as a one-man team, because I have the time and I've just been putting in the full effort into that. And yeah, so that's definitely in the future. It's just expansion. I'd like to have, you know, set locations and stuff, and warehouses and storefronts, and get moving with employees and be able to delegate responsibilities, stuff like that. That's definitely coming for the future of my job, but or the future of my company. But for right now, yeah, just go after it. If you want to have a clothing line, you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'll put my link in the description and everything if you want to get in touch with me there. Feel free to message me and be like, hey, I saw you on YouTube, this is my brand, do you have any tips? I'm happy to reach out if I have time. I try to respond to a lot of you guys that have questions like that and stuff. But yeah, for now, check out my new drop. It's coming this Friday, April 8th, I believe. I got this, I got a t-shirt, and I'm also dropping a $10 tee to go with it. So maybe you don't have a ton of money and you still want to support, you could definitely go check that out. Like I said, I'll have that $10 tee. I got this, has a really good meaning behind the message of this drop I'm doing. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. Check that out. If you want to follow my Instagram, follow my TikTok, be greatly appreciated. I'll leave all the ads in my bio and everything, how you can find me. Be sure to subscribe, drop a comment on this video if it was helpful. If you have any other questions or suggestions, if you want me to do a video just specifically on how do I grow my TikTok, stuff like that, or anything like that, for example, just be sure to drop a comment. Maybe I'll get back to you, let you know my advice, or maybe if it's something I can talk about enough, I'll make a whole video on it. But other than that, good luck to all you guys. Take care, and appreciate all the support.